You were not born for comfort. You were not forged for ease. Ease is where iron rusts, where minds soften, where warriors decay into shadows of what they could have been. The world will tempt you, with shortcuts, with applause, with rewards you didn't earn and peace you didn't fight for. But understand this: everything that comes easy weakens something inside you, and the price of that weakness will be paid in blood. Maybe not today, but when it matters most. The warrior does not crave easy wins. He does not chase the battles he knows he can win. He seeks the battles that shape him, the ones that stretch the sinews of his soul, that burn away illusion, that carve truth into bone. Because only there, in the fire, in the failure, in the fight, does he meet the one opponent who always matters, himself. Victory is not the goal, mastery is. A blade that never strikes becomes dull. A body that never falls, never learns to rise. And a man who only moves when it's safe to win is already defeated. There is no honor in being the strongest in a room of the weak. There is no wisdom in climbing a mountain made of sand. Seek the path that humbles you, the discipline that breaks your pride, the silence that echoes louder than praise. Because easy victories teach you nothing, and nothing is what you'll become if you keep chasing them. So walk the harder path, fight the tougher war, and when you fall, rise not because they cheer, but because your soul commands it. Do not fear the long battle, the battle without end, the one that gives nothing but scars in return. Because it is this war, the war without applause, that builds you. Men crave recognition, the pat on the back, the trophy, the soft reward at the end of short effort. But these are bones thrown to dogs, not swords handed to warriors. You do not need praise, you need pressure. You do not need comfort, you need confrontation with your limits, your laziness, your lies. There's a voice inside you that whispers, "Take it easy, you've done enough." It is the same voice that will leave you weak when the storm arrives. It is the same voice that will vanish the moment steel meets steel. So silence it, with work, with repetition, with one more rep when your body trembles, with one more hour of discipline when sleep seduces, with one more swing of the blade when your hands are bleeding. That is how warriors are made, not through easy wins, but through the relentless refusal to surrender to ease. Look around. Most men have already lost, not because they fell, but because they stopped rising, because they chose the path of least resistance until resistance broke them. But not you. You prepare for war when others celebrate peace. You sharpen your mind when others entertain distraction. You train when no one watches, so you do not break when everyone does. Let them chase comfort. Let them rot in the glow of cheap satisfaction. You sharpen your discipline. You embrace the grind. You become unbreakable. Victory is not your reward. The path is, because every step, every scar, every sacrifice, it refines you. Steel does not weep when struck by fire. It hardens, and so must you. The world will offer illusions, 1,000 ways to cheat the journey, but shortcuts kill warriors. You may arrive faster, but arrive hollow, unprepared, unworthy. There is no honor in the easy win, no mastery in the unearned title. It is the climb that makes the summit sacred. Cling to the difficult. Cling to the slow and silent forge of self. It is not comfort that keeps the blade sharp, but the grindstone. Most men dream of strength, but flee the weight. They fantasize about greatness, but fold under repetition. They admire discipline in others, but betray their own word each morning. So do not be like most men. If it's too easy, question it. If it's too quick, mistrust it. If it comes without effort, walk away. Because you know this path is not paved in flowers, but in fire. The kind of fire that burns away the weakness, leaves only the essence. And that essence must be forged daily, not once, not twice, but until your final breath. The body breaks before the will does, unless the will was never trained. The world rewards men who entertain, not men who endure. But warriors are not jesters. They do not seek applause. They seek silence. They seek storms. A true warrior walks into resistance because resistance reveals truth. It tears away illusion. It exposes what is hollow and confirms what is real. If your foundation is soft, the first quake will bury you. If your soul is untested, even comfort will become poison. Train not for the reward. Train for the repetition. Train to stay in the fire without flinching. Because every easy victory is a missed opportunity to grow, to suffer, to sharpen, to step into the version of yourself that cannot be seduced by comfort. If you win without the cost, you remain untested. And an untested blade cannot be trusted in war. So keep going. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. Because it's real. Because it's yours. No borrowed path, no stolen strength. Only the quiet, brutal clarity of effort repeated until it becomes you. Until you are not chasing victory, you are embodying it. Do not envy the man who wins without scars. He has not walked the fire. He has not faced the night. The ones who never bled, never learned to endure. And the ones who never lost, never found the strength to rise again. Hardship is the forge. It melts what is false and hardens what is real. Pain is not the enemy. Comfort is. Pain clarifies. Comfort clouds. When you suffer with discipline, you strip away the layers of ego. You burn through the weakness that hides inside habit, and you stand there, naked, trembling, but finally unafraid. Do not mistake stillness for peace. Peace without battle is hollow. Peace without strength is delusion. You must train the heart to keep beating when love disappears. You must train the mind to stay clear when fear speaks loudest. There will be days when everything inside you whispers, rest. But those are the days you rise harder. Because victory is not a finish line. It is a posture, a discipline, a way of walking through the world with eyes sharpened by suffering and steps guided by purpose. The world will tempt you with shortcuts. Let others take them. You stay the path. There are men who smile without conviction, who speak of greatness but have never tasted hunger, never carried solitude like a blade at their side. Their victories are built on cushions. Yours must be built on stone. They laugh now. Let them, for they have never stood before the mirror of their own failures and held the stare. But you were not born to drift. You were born to withstand the fire and still walk forward. Not once, not sometimes, but every time life dares to push back. If your mind craves ease, you must command it otherwise. If your hands tremble from repetition, you must tighten your grip and repeat again. For the warrior does not ask how long the mountain will take to climb. He takes the first step and becomes the man who climbs mountains. You are not here to collect gold. You are here to collect fire. You are not here to be praised. You are here to become unshakable. So bury the comfort, sharpen the blade, and let your scars tell the story of a man who refused to kneel when the world begged him to fold. The enemy is not always outside. It waits in silence, in comfort, in approval, in the small applause for half-finished tasks. It waits when you hit snooze, when you scroll instead of rise, when you settle for good enough. That is when you lose, not in war, but in the quiet decay of discipline. Because victory is not a moment, it's a rhythm. It's what you rehearse in private when no one is watching, when your body screams and your spirit whispers, again. This is the road, not paved with applause, but with repetition, resistance, and the weight of purpose. The warrior becomes iron by walking through fire without needing a reason other than, because I must. He does not chase pleasure. He endures storms. He sharpens his soul against pain and builds a fortress of silence within the chaos. He prepares not for the easy win, but for the war that never ends. Because mastery has no summit, and a man who is truly dangerous is the one who grows stronger without needing reward. There is a kind of man who does not wait for motivation, who does not look to the horizon for a sign, a cheer, a reason. He moves, not because it feels good, but because the path demands it, because the mission does not pause for emotion. He knows that pleasure is a thief in disguise. It offers soft pillows while sharpening the blade of regret. It says, you deserve rest when your soul cries. You deserve strength. The world has lied to you. It whispered, ease is success. Comfort is the goal. Love yourself by indulging. But warriors do not indulge. They endure. They do not bathe in praise. They stand in solitude, holding the weight of their own standard. Easy victories are illusions, quick highs, momentary applause, hollow peaks with no foundation beneath. But the ones who train in darkness, who sweat when no one sees, who build when others rest, they forge something eternal. They do not break, they do not fade, because they have found truth not in the summit, but in the ascent. And the man who finds joy in the climb can never be conquered. There is a quiet war raging beneath your skin, not one of swords and shields, but of choices and conviction. Every morning you stand at the gate of discipline or decay. Will you rise into the flame or slip back into softness? Most men don't fall in battle. They fall in bed, in the comfort of habit, in the warmth of routine, in the numbness of scrolling, in the daily death of purpose. They let comfort rot their spirit. They mistake pleasure for progress. They collect trophies but never face themselves. But you are not most men. Because you understand, a life without resistance is a slow suicide. You train, not because it is enjoyable, but because it is essential. You fast, not to impress, but to remember what hunger feels like. You choose silence, not because it is easy, but because it reveals what noise hides. You reject praise because you know it softens the edge of your discipline. You choose the long road because mastery cannot be rushed. And when you fall, because you will, you do not curse the path. You tighten your grip. You rise again, stronger, sharper, more dangerous than before. Because the warrior understands, every scar is a scripture. Every failure is a forge. And every hard-earned inch is worth more than a mile handed in comfort. Victory is not in the outcome. It is in the act of never giving in. Steel does not sharpen in warm water. It hardens in the flame. And so must you. Each time you delay gratification, each time you walk away from ease, each time you resist the siren call of softness, you become less like the world and more like a weapon. People will not understand. They will call it obsession, madness, unnecessary suffering. But you will see it for what it is. Liberation from the prison of comfort and approval. You are not here to be liked. You are not here to be understood. You are here to become that which few dare to become. A man who cannot be bent by temptation or broken by ease. Pleasure will whisper to you. It will take many forms. Distractions dressed as rest. Validation dressed as love. Laziness dressed as self-care. But you know the truth. Ease is the enemy of excellence. You will take no pride in victories earned without resistance. You will take no joy in rewards that cost you nothing. You will not chase applause. You will not need praise. You will be a silent storm, felt more than heard. For the man who walks the path of mastery knows the highest pleasure is not comfort, but conquest. And the greatest conquest is not over others, but over the weakness within. You were not born to kneel in safety. You were not carved by time to vanish in softness. You were born for fire. The battlefield is not out there. It lives in your habits, your hesitation, your hunger for what is easy. And if you do not wage war against it, you will lose everything. One day, death will visit, without mercy, without delay. And when it does, what will it find? A man who bent every time the wind blew? Or a man who stood like a mountain, scarred, but unshaken? There is no comfort in the final hour, only the weight of how you lived. So live as if your bones were forged for storms. Rise before the world stirs. Train while others sleep. Bleed where others break. Do not seek praise. Do not seek rest. Do not seek peace before your war is won. This path is not meant to be easy. It is meant to be worthy. When you walk into the fire, do not flinch. When you face your weakness, do not turn away. Every scar is a seal. Every sacrifice, a step. Every battle, a sharpening. And when the world tries to soften you, stand harder. When it offers comfort, walk past it. And when they ask why you endure so much pain for no visible reward, you look them in the eye and say, "Because I do not seek pleasure in easy victories."